aging in place or universal design, and that's creating spaces that remain comfortable throughout your home, where you can literally age in your home without necessarily having to move. If your home could evolve with you, supporting your changing needs at every stage of life, would that be something that would be important to you, and would that make sense? Today, I'm gonna share some expert insights on aging in place design or universal design, a forward-thinking approach that creates a beautiful, functional space that will allow you to live in your home comfortably for decades and decades. This isn't about preparing for limitations, it's about designing smart and adaptable spaces that will enhance your lifestyle now while accommodating your future needs. Future-proofing is a way that I often talk about it. Hello, I'm Charlie with Armada Design and Build in Bellevue, Washington, and after helping hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of homeowners create spaces that support their changing needs, I'm sharing practical strategies that blend beauty with functionality to create homes that truly stand the test of time. So thanks for stopping by. Hit the subscribe button, like button, and check out our channel. We got lots of other videos about all things remodeling and renovation. So today, aging in place or universal design. Some of the core principles involved with aging in place. One of them, if at all possible, is single level living. Let's take the stairs out of the equation. If you have a multi-story home, can we put your master bedroom, primary bedroom on the main floor and eliminate the need for going up and down the stairs? If we can't do that, then what can we do to overcome? And one of the solutions that we have done a number of times is we would put an elevator in so that you can get up and down for people that you can't put it all on one floor. Then we put in the elevator, can become a good solution. That's a way to sort of do it all on one floor without doing it on one floor. Universal accessibility and designing spaces that work for people with all abilities, right? Here the big one being corners, door widths. Are we thinking about the potential of a walker or a wheelchair, someone getting around? So widening doorways is an example, changing showers, changing the toilets, grab bars and handles, and making room for, in the future, someone to be able to potentially be in the home, a caregiver, family member, professional, working with you in those functions, in the bathroom space, in the kitchen space, getting around the house, down the hallway, into the bedroom. These things are important, so that universal design and accessibility is really important. Another one is adaptability, right? Building in features that can easily change as your needs change. One of the things that we do oftentimes now, for an older couple or mature couple that is doing a project, we might not put the grab bars in the shower now, but we would design where the grab bars are going to go. We would put all the backing in the wall behind the tile so that when the grab bars do need to be installed, that they can be installed and be secure and sturdy when they go in. Wheelchair accessibility, planning for that with wider doorways. Curbless showers. We're not gonna have a curb, we're just gonna roll right into it, making the shower big enough to get in there. So these are important things to think about now so that the home will last for you and you can be in your home long-term. Whereas if you don't have these capabilities or this flexibility, it might not just be practical for you to stay in the home. But if the home doesn't become a hindrance to you being able to be there and be safe, then it might be other things. The family wants you to move in with them or whatever, but it's not because of the home. The safety and incorporating these elements reduce that risk of fall, reduce the amount of help that you might need, increasing your self-sufficiency, the ability to stay in the home longer. Maintenance reduction. This is a big one, often overlooked as we age and we become a little bit older. We're less able to get out and do things like clean gutters and blow off the roof and maintain the yard and the driveway and caulk windows and whatever those kind of things are that you need the regular ongoing maintenance that's required for managing a home. But by picking materials and making selections of potentially some of the things that we design into the home, is that we reduce that maintenance load on you long term. Put a metal roof on that's gonna have very little need for any maintenance, things like that. Don't use wooden decking so you don't have to get out there and refinish it over time. Use synthetic decking. Things like that that can cut down on both the work standpoint of doing maintenance and upkeep, and then the cost. So something to think about, one of those hidden ones about aging in place that's really important, I think that we want to make sure you cover, is the long-term maintenance and upkeep. These principles will help you, if you adopt these principles and work those in, that they will help create a home that works better for everyone, not even just for seniors. I know the no-step entry is just easier for anybody to get in and out of, particularly those with mobility challenges or even little kids. Or if you have little kids that are learning to walk, that they don't have to navigate a bunch of steps in the garage, coming into the house and things like that, carrying groceries in, all the stuff that the kids have. So there's a lot of pluses to it outside of people with mobility issues or seniors, but it definitely starts to apply when we start talking about seniors. Some of the key modifications for different areas of your home to consider, right? Entryways, circulation, no steps or very little steps. Do we need to add a ramp? The wider doorways, 36 inches is really wide. Most interior doors are not 36 inches. They're typically 30. So, that's a good bit wider. You're gonna notice that, but it's easy to get through with a walker or a wheelchair, or if you've got someone helping you. Lever style handles instead of knobs. Well-lit pathways, motion sensing options. You go into a space, the lights come on, you don't have to touch the switch and it goes off over time. This is standard fare in commercial projects now, but becoming more and more so in residential, but not required. Other areas that make a big difference for universal or aging in place design, we touched on it already, but the bathroom, curbless showers with a bench, grab bars that double as towel bars or shelving, more comfortable height toilets that are a little bit higher than the standard toilet. Those are a little easier to get up and down from. Non-slip flooring, radiant heat options are nice. So there's a lot to do in the bathroom with this, and then the general amount of space in a bathroom is important, particularly if you have someone in that bathroom helping you get through the bathroom routine. So if there's gonna be two people, then you need a little bit more space. So then obviously another important space is the kitchen. Are we in a wheelchair? Do we have a walker? Are we planning for that eventuality? So that makes a difference with countertop height for seated or standing or whatnot, pull out shelving, open spaces, knee spaces to roll up to if you are in a chair is important at the sink, cooktops, things like that. Side opening ovens, accessible heights, task lighting becomes really important in this instance, because your eye level changes if you're in a wheelchair from standing to seating. So it's important to understand that and make sure that we've made that as easy to work in as possible. Another area that people are in every day, obviously, right, is your bedroom. So we've talked about getting in and out of the house, circulation, we talked about the bathroom, we talked about the kitchen, and obviously then the bedroom. And this mainly, ideally that it's located on the main floor with as few or zero steps as possible. We also touched on, you could do it with an elevator, right, if you need to get up there, but that it's on the main floor. Adequate clearance to move around the bed for mobility devices and or someone there to help you. Closets are important, and storage of clothes. You can't store them really high if you're in a chair, things like that, so everything needs to be a little lower. So adjusting how things are stored, both hanging and folded items, so that's important. Another really important area, obviously, is the living area, where you will spend most of your wake hours, right? Open floor plans with the clear pathways, good acoustic design to support people with hearing challenges, or pre-wired for lights. If the doorbell rings or something like that, the lights go off so that you have a signal for that. Same with fire detection and fire warning, smoke detectors kind of things for hearing impaired. Adequately layered lighting for different activities. As we get older, and I can attest to this, needing more lighting all the time to read that thing or look at that thing or whatever the case may be. So that layering and additional lighting is important to make sure that we have a lot of options. That's the function side of it, right? So we want it to be very functional. It needs to meet a need and do something for us that maybe it doesn't do now. But at the same time, it can't look institutional, right? So this design, it needs to flow with the home. It needs a nice aesthetic. A modern aging in place design is about a seamless integration with these practical solutions that look and feel nice, right? Designer grab bars as opposed to the ones in the bathroom in the hospital. A lot of manufacturers now are doing these things that look like, they're part of the towel bars and things like that. They coordinate with the finishes and the style of them, but the functionality is there. These curbless showers that we're doing a ton of these days, continuous flooring, linear drains, just different looks with frameless glass, while eliminating these trip hazards and limitations for a chair or a walker or walking assist, but that still look elegant and very stylish. Cost-effective modifications with a maximum impact, right? If you're working with a limited budget, these high-impact, lower-cost modifications provide the best return. These lighting improvements, upgrading to brighter layered lighting with accessible controls on your phone. You don't have to get up and walk all around the room to get that done. Lever-style hardware, replacing knobs with handles, arthritis, limited hands, knobs on faucets, things like that. Strategic grab bar placement, installing these grab bars in key locations around the shower, toilets, stairs, even in hallways in some instances, just to help you get down the hall. Not opposed to putting them there and have done it many times. Adjustable showers, right? The shower head can go up and down, whether you're seated or whether you're standing. Maybe that helps, or it's on a handheld to help you, get to all the parts you couldn't get to, or someone helping you. Smart home technology, voice-activated systems for lighting, temperature, and security makes it a lot easier to have to get up and go do all these things. Turn on the TV, etc. Window coverings can be done voice-activated these days, so this is all updated and improved functionality for people. Improved flooring, replacing those high-risk flooring with non-slip options and wrinkles. Carpet, things like that, gets a little wrinkle in it, becomes a trip hazard, hard to get around with on wheels or with a walker. So that's really important. Many, many, many different things to think about and incorporate when you're talking about aging in place. So where to start planning for that? An ideal time to incorporate that aging in place idea and aesthetic is long before you need them, because now it's an emergency. If you're doing other renovations or you're thinking about doing a renovation to a portion of your home, you don't even have to do the whole thing. But this part we're working on now, we want to incorporate that into this part of the project, and then later we might do something else. So keeping that incremental cost and that planning in mind is much better to do it now than to try and retrofit it later. So if you're in your 40s or 50s and this is a home that you think you may be in long term, then now is the time to start. Anytime you're thinking about a project. And even if you don't wind up being in the home long term, it will add value to other people who are your age or potentially older, who have now found a home that's got those features that they're looking for, which makes your home different than a lot out there. So another reason to be thinking about this. So when you're buying or building or evaluating a home's adaptability potential before the purchase can save you some money in the long term. The smartest approach is thinking about aging in place design as longevity design, right? This is universal, something that's gonna happen. I always say future-proof the home. Features that make your home more comfortable, convenient, and safe at any age, little kids to grandma and grandpa. Technology is transforming this aging in place that we're talking about. It's revolutionizing what can be possible. We touched on it. Voice-activated lighting control, temperature, security, TV, many, many different things can be done without actually having to go physically interact with it. Smart monitoring, cameras that the kids can check on you and make sure you're okay, discrete sensors that detect a fall or unusual patterns without some intrusive cameras. So there's a lot of ways people can keep an eye on you without keeping an eye on you. Automated medication management, systems that remind, dispense, and track medication compliance. This is a big one these days because people forget about, oh, did I take my medicine or did I not? And when am I supposed to take what? Smart appliances, refrigerators that monitor your food supply, ovens with automatic shutoff features in case you forget, right? Other safety enhancing technologies, things like that that will help you avoid making an error that could be costly or damaging. So some of the mistakes to avoid, right? focusing only on current needs, designing for today's abilities without thinking about the future. That's why we want to talk about future proofing. Overlooking this lighting, inadequate lighting. Lighting can be expensive, which is often one of the reasons that people are like, oh, that's too much. I don't want to spend that much on it now. But it might not be for now, it might be for later, right? So lighting is really important. Choosing trendy over functional. Selecting materials like polished tile that create a safety hazard, thinking about stuff that's a little bit safer. Retrofitting rather than planning, adding features after problems arise rather than incorporating them proactively. So if you're thinking about a project, bake in some of that stuff now, whether you ever use it or not, but it'll make your home more valuable. Creating an old person house, making modifications that feel institutional rather than integrated into beautiful design. We want to eliminate that. We don't want it to feel like, it's just all sterile and designed for old. We want it to be functional, but we want it to be beautiful and have a great aesthetic. Many homes today need to accommodate the multiple generations with different needs. Grandma and grandpa are moving in, or one of them's moving in. So she needs that, but you don't need it today. Flexible space, rooms that can adapt to different uses as needs change, right? It's not a main floor primary bedroom right now. It's an office, but it could be down the road as things change. So that would be a way to sort of future-proof. Zoned living areas, creating spaces where different activities can occur simultaneously. Variable heights, incorporate elements at different heights to accommodate those various users and uses. Private retreats, ensuring each generation has some private space within the shared space, right? So that you can get away. In conclusion, aging in place design isn't just about limiting your home style or preparing for decline. It's about creating space that enhances your life at every stage. By incorporating these principles thoughtfully, you can enjoy a home that's more comfortable, convenient, and adaptable now, while ensuring it continues to meet your needs for decades to come, or someone else's, and you just, you happen to do the work for it and make it more valuable for you to sell. The most successful aging in place designs are those you don't even notice. They simply make life easier in ways that benefit everyone who uses the space. Are you ready to create that home that will serve you beautifully for years to come? At Armada Design and Build, we specialize in thoughtful, forward-thinking designs that enhance your lifestyle today while adapting to your future needs. Contact us for a consultation to discuss how we can incorporate aging in place principles into your next project. Let's create spaces that grow with you through every chapter of life. Thank you very much. Check us out on the channel. We got lots of videos about all kinds of things, remodeling and renovation. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll try and get back to you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.